Okay, we're here with Tara. Tara, who did you choose to interview for your project?
I interviewed my grandmother, Phyllis Ebert.
And what did you learn about your grandma that maybe you didn't know before or that surprised you?
I thought it was interesting that she took her driving lessons at school and the local dealerships would supply cars for them to use. I thought that was neat.
That is interesting. And did you say she's from Ohio?
Yeah.
You don't happen to know if that's standard practice now up there, do you? If that was a state thing?
I don't know.
That's interesting. Growing up, was you as a little girl, what did you find to be one of your favorite toys or gadgets that you got or had with you a lot?
I had one baby doll. It was no special baby doll, but it just went everywhere with me.
Okay. Do you still have it?
Somewhere. I think it's in my closet.
That's funny. And now that you're a teenager, what device do you have or toy do you have that you feel that you need now?
My cell phone. I use it for like everything.
Is it a smartphone?
Yeah.
So what do you find yourself doing primarily on it? Texting or calling?
Mostly texting.
Okay. And do you text every day, would you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Primarily your friends or your family? Do you keep in touch like with practices and things with your parents, or is it just primarily your friends?
Usually just friends.
Okay. And what smart features do you actually use? Because you can text and call on regular phones too, but...
I'm always on Facebook on my phone, but also I play like games and stuff with friends.
Okay. What type of phone do you have?
It's the Samsung Stratosphere.
So do they have apps like the iPhone has?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you find yourself actually using the internet much on it?
Yeah, I usually do. Just to look up things real fast.
Okay. And what would you like to see improved or developed or invented in the future?
I'd like to see a different source to run cars because gasoline is so expensive.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
This is my grandmother. I chose to interview her because we were pretty close, and I thought it would be interesting to learn about her childhood. Growing up, my grandma remembers the cell phone, color TV, PCs, speed bikes, remote controls, and microwaves being invented. She believes that all technology today is important, but if she had to pick her favorite, it would be the computer. If she could pick a technology that she could live without, it would be video games. My grandma says that she remembers getting her first TV. It was black and white and often had a snowy picture. She said it got shut down at midnight and was usually in a large console that was part of the furnishing in the room. She would watch shows like I Love Lucy, Gunsmoke, Leave It to Beaver, variety shows, and ice hockey. Although microwaves came out in the 1940s, she did not get one until she grew up and had kids in the 80s. It helped her mostly by heating up leftovers. Because my grandma didn't need glasses full-time, she never got contact lenses. She did hear about them though, and was curious how someone could put a foreign object into their eye. She said that she heard a lot of them were rigid when they first came out. The first phone she had was on a party line that everyone could listen to your conversations. You would have to pick up the phone and wait for the operator to come on to direct your phone calls. Even when the rotary dial came out, you still had the party line. In the early days of rotary phones, you would be assigned a number of rings to recognize which call was for you. She believes that the cell phone have helped and hurt. The cell phone keeps everyone in touch and relieves parents. On the other hand, everyone is always on the cell phone every waking moment. She believes that texting especially has ruined good manners in places they should be enforced. Although she did not have a Barbie doll when she was young, she remembers being in awe of the details that the doll had. She says that she grew up with a family car. She said that the car had been used and was much bigger than the cars we have today. She said that most often the cars were standard shift and they did not have defrosters, so they would have to put a small fan on the dashboard to circulate air and help the windshield from freezing. Cars didn't have electric windows, door locks, remotes, or windshield washers. Another different thing was that the headlight dimmer was on the floor, so you would tap your left foot to dim the lights. When power steering came out, it didn't really affect her because she learned to drive without it and without power brakes. She learned to drive in school because they had to take driving lessons. Also, the local car dealership kept the school equipped with cars. She finds the World Wide Web to be very helpful in her everyday life. She uses the internet for communicating, paying bills, and often communicates with service providers. She likes the fact that she can see her bank account on an hourly basis. She says that she has become more technologically educated in how to identify and solve problems on the computer. Playing games is her favorite thing to do on the internet, but she said virtually everything that comes up in conversation or in web browsing, if it piques her interest, she will pursue the internet to learn more. When asking her about the Apple computers and iPods, she didn't know much about them, but she did share that she loves to use her Kindle Fire. She has been having to do physical therapy for her shoulder, so she has been able to take the Kindle in with her to read during her downtime. She likes it because she doesn't have to worry about the wearing and tearing of the actual book. Attending movies was a common thing she used to do. When the VCR came out, she said it did help a lot to entertain the family and was cheaper than going to the theater. She still has some VCR tapes, but DVD is much more common. Being able to pause and record shows made watching TV much easier for her once she got a DVR. She uses it to preserve programs that she thinks she might miss. She believes that Facebook is more of a fad or communication tool rather than an invention, but she thinks it started out to be a fun idea. She only has about 60 friends. Most of them are family members or old friends. She finds that the new changes on Facebook has become less interesting, less fun, and less personal.